And then I got to mix. And I didn't know what I was going to do about mix because I didn't want kind of a metalhead, obviously. So where was I going to find someone to mix the record? So in some of the records, I didn't want it to be too retro. I didn't want it to be too contemporary. So I started looking and listening, and one of my favorite bands that plays music kind of like this is Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. So I went back and listened to a few of their records, and one that I loved was done by a guy named Michael Frondelli, who I had never met before, but I saw his name on the record and hunted him down through various sites or whatever, and just kind of reached out to him and said, I have this record. Is it something you could be interested in? And, he did Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. He worked with Pat Benatar. He's done stuff with Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire. And again, here's this thrash metal guy reaching out to him saying, hey, you want to mix my record? But he loved the demos, and he was totally into it. And he was another guy who kind of came to the table with, he knew all about kind of working with horns and working with these kinds of bands and where to get the real punch from the horn section and how to mix so the arrangements really sounded as polished and as clean as they could be, rather than just making them powerful like you would do more with a metal band. And he's got more of kind of his sonically, it was more like in the 80s, which is more what I think it was, bigger, fatter, softer kick drum, chunkier snare. But it really did an amazing job, I think, in pulling it all together, making it sound modern and slick, but then having it, especially on some of the standards like Two of a Kind. I have one song called I Can Be Most Anything. That's more like a standard. Actually, it was funny with him. He was looking all over the internet saying, well, whose song is that I Can Be Most Anything? I couldn't find it. I said, well, that's one of my songs. That's an original. And he said, do you realize you've written a standard? Well, I'm like, well, I don't know if it could be a standard, but it's in that form. And he did a killer job on that too, where they kind of, the standards fit in seamlessly with the more rockin' songs. And that's a big, anytime you're in this multiple genre kind of thing, it's hard to pull it all together to make it gel so that it has the power and vibe of a rock band, but still holds the integrity of a big band, of a swing band, and that kind of thing. So, great group of guys. Really proud of the record. It's called Buckle Up, and there's more to come. So just keep it tuned.